When you're focused on what you're doing and you're focusing on your clientele and you're focusing on your marketing, nothing else matters, man. Like everybody can eat. It was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, right? But it was scary, but I wasn't afraid, if that makes any sense to you, right? Entrepreneurship is for people who are kind of borderline crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have crazy faith. Like, bro, I've had times to where I'm like, you know what? I quit. I'm about to go fill out an application. I'm about to go get me a job. I'm about to guarantee these funds. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look into the camera and say this, right? Guys, listen to me. Read my lips. Raise your prices. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it for everybody back in the back. Raise your prices.
This is the R&B Show.
Welcome back to the R&B Show, where we always real and bold. But I have a question for you today. What happens when the vision is bigger than you think? What happens when the vision requires multiple people and you just can't do it solo? That you're fighting against competition while trying to build community and build the culture. Well, guess what? Today, I got somebody very special to sit down that has taught me a lot about community, has shown me before I even spoke to him, even knew him, and I was learning from him. I got a great friend here who's just not a creative. You know, he's a great father. He's a great husband. He's just a great human being altogether. I got the owner of Exposures. I have my friend here, Germaine Grimes. Man, what's going on, my guy?
I'm chilling, man. I appreciate it, my brother.
Hey, man.
I'm honored to be on here too.
Man, look, you know, I always want to give people their flowers first because,
bro.
like I said, you were a person when I was first getting into the game and I saw like everywhere, and I was like, okay, I got to get like him, like, and then you know how it is in Baton Rouge, you know, and in a lot of times in the creative community, a lot of people fear competition.
Yeah.
So you know they don't want to give the secrets, they don't want to give the sauce, they don't want to like teach or show. And I remember we were downtown. I just finished a shoot. I think you were just about to start a shoot. You were setting up. And I was like, I introduced myself. And you're like, hey, man, I know who you are. I'm like, oh, you know me?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, man, you do great work. And,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, right then and there, like, I asked you a couple of questions about off-camera flash. And he was like, oh, man, look, this is easy. This is all you got to do here. And you were just showing me. And it was like, hey, if you want to stick around for a little bit of the shoot, or come by the studio, I got you.
I forgot all about that, bro.
Yeah. And so like, it's always amazing to meet people, and you've been a person that's always been pouring back into others. And like, for example, for me, I've watched where, you was like an unofficial mentor, and I'm learning, and then I'm studying your images. I'm literally on like Instagram studying your images, and I'm like, okay, he probably had a camera, the light over here, or he did this. And so you literally would tell me stuff, and then I would go and like try to learn it. Even before, like, I didn't have, it was just recent before I had a strobe that I could do high speed sync.
Okay.
So I'm out here with the ND filter.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, whatever works. Yeah.
Getting it in. And then, I just got to know you more on a personal level. And one thing that I've noticed in Baton Rouge, and it's happened for me, when I first started, everybody, there's a lot of people that's like, hey, bring you in, I'll teach you this, and that. But when I started like getting my footing and started getting this gig and starting
teetered off a little bit.
Yeah, it teetered off. So now when I'm direct competition, I can't talk to you no more, or I can't help you on this and so forth, man. Tell me about your thoughts about that.
It really makes no sense, because at the end of the day, really, to be honest, you still can't hold anybody back. So, if a person comes and that happens, you're still going to grow. And like 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to outgrow them. I kind of sort of had a situation like that myself. I don't want to talk about the particulars, because at that point, the person will know exactly who I'm talking about. But like pretty much, I had an issue with, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. So I had an issue with white balance, right?
Okay.
And the white balance was, bro, it was throwing me every single time. It's like, man, I would get the perfect shot, the shot that I envisioned, I would get it, everything was cool, man. But I would always have to go back and post and fix the white balance, which, I mean, it's not a problem when you're shooting raw, right? But, at that point, man, I was starving. I said, I have to learn white balance. And it was kind of sort of like that. I don't want to say too much, but it was kind of sort of like that. And then I said, okay, all right, I see. Okay, so I just need to learn it on my own. So, like, bro, with God and YouTube University and a whole lot of bad shots, I just so happened to be on the shot one day. And, bro, I kid you not, bro. I took a shot, boom, okay, that's not the one I want. And then I took another shot, and it's like the light bulb went off. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, let me change that Kelvin over, And then, bro, it just got to the point now, bro, I don't worry about white balance now. You know what I'm saying? Because you can fix it in post. Plus, man, like I'm color grading anyway. But for everybody who is learning how to shoot right now, learn white balance. Don't listen to what I'm talking about right now. Learn your white balance. But yeah, Baton Rouge is a tricky place because, again, we have a lot of competition here. The crazy thing about it is, bro, I did a Google search, man, and we have in the greater Baton Rouge area, man, it's around 750,000 people. When I went to Google, I'm thinking maybe like 350 or something like that. Bro, 754,000 people live in the general area. So I'm saying that to say it's enough for everybody, right?
I say it all the time, man.
And bro, when you're focused on what you're doing and you're focusing on your clientele and you're focusing on your marketing, nothing else matters, man. Like everybody can eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've never bumped heads about any clients or anything like that. It's not that serious at the end of the day, right?
It really ain't.
What's for you is for you. What's for me is for me. Come on, man.
Man, look, before we even get even deeper in that, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up because I want the people to really know who you are. So, I want them to know who is Germaine. Like, who is Germaine and how did Germaine get to a point that he owns, is it 3 studios now? Is it, like, how did you pick up the camera? Like, how did you get from where you were, working and then full time doing what you're doing? Like, how did it happen?
God, dog. I can't see it. I can't say anything else, man. I'm just out here, bro, just letting the Lord use me, I worked for 11 years in education. At the same time, I was branding my business to the point most people didn't know I worked in the school system. Working in the school system, man, I worked from pre-K all the way up to seniors in high school, discipline and counseling, and I loved it. So, man, like going to work was a blast for me, right? So I never had an inkling about going full time until Jen, my wife, man, she came to me maybe around 2020 or 2021. She said, "G, babe, I got to get you to go full time." And I think for her, the problem was I would always have to be at work because with the role I played in at work, I would always have to be there, right? So she kind of wanted to buy my time back, right? So at that point, I said, okay, all right. And man, bro, I was telling Tim, man, I just brushed it off because, I'm getting it over here at work. I'm making money in the business. Plus I got insurance. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere, right? But around 2021, man, it's like God started to nudge me. And I hate to even say this, man, but sometimes God has to nudge me in order to get me to move. I'm going to say 90% of the time, man, I'm going. But that 10%, when he really wants me to go, and I'm just not seeing the bigger picture at that point in time, he has to, G, hey, bro, let's go. So long story short, I would go to work, and this year, I didn't have any problems. I don't want to say problems, but I didn't have any issues, bro, like when it came to discipline. So like I would go to work, man, and just kick my feet up, like for the most part, right? And then I said, okay, like this is the first. Then the phone started to ring. And it's high-end clients calling, hey, buddy, can you do this, da-da-da-da-da-da for this? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do it for that. Well, we need you in about half an hour. I'm like, oh, man. So after about the 5th call and maybe 2 weeks, I was like, big homie, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. So he laid down the path and the groundwork. And May of 2022, I went full time. It was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, right? But it was scary, but I wasn't afraid, if that makes any sense to you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was how I got to be full time. Now, how I became a photographer, I'm gonna tell you about that, right? Growing up, I never had a camera. Never had an interest on being a photographer, man, but I always wanted to be creative. Bro, I had to be creative. Whatever, bro. Painting, drawing, I'm talking about the whole nine.
Artists in general,
right?
like
I
that.
just, bro, I just had to get it out, right? So, I think my uncle, he was in the process of renewing his vows. Yeah, man. So he knew that we had a camera, because what happened was, when we had our first child, our daughter, my wife was spending so much money with the photographer. The photographer pulled her over to the side one day and was like, baby, go buy a camera. Because you spending so much money at this point in time, buy yourself a camera and save you some money. I said, okay, all right, cool, man. So I think she went on QVC, man, and she spent like $1,000 on the camera, right? Bro, that camera set up in the closet for about a year. Fast forward, bro, my uncle hit me up. He said, G, I know y'all have a camera. Can you come and shoot some shots at the renewal? I said, yeah, okay, cool. He said, well, look, I'm gonna give you something. I said, okay, all right, cool. So, man, I always had some type of venture going on, man. So, like, I'm always trying to make some money on the side or whatever it is, man. So I show up at the renewal. Man, I probably took about 10 minutes worth of pictures, man. They all were trash. I'm talking about garbage. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just pop, 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 pop. Boom. So whenever the ceremony was over, he said, hold up, bro. I got something for you, man. So he went to the back, wrote out a check. It's going to sound crazy, right? He wrote out a check for $80. So the wheels start moving. I said, you know what? This is the first time I ever worked for 10 minutes and made $80. I'm about to learn how to jig this camera. You know what I'm talking about? And it just took off from there. Yeah.
And so that's just, it's opened so many different doors for you.
Your gifts will make room for you, bro.
Look,
I'm a walking testimony there, bro.
So why do you think, for you specifically, you're a creative, you're an artist, why do you think God at the time now was pushing you out the door for you to be, outside of just our game, but like, what have you seen? What have you experienced? What have you been able to do, or even affect within the community and people by being full-time?
Really, man, I can provide more value. I can solve more problems. And also too, man, I can talk to people about him too as well, It's been a roller coaster ride, bro. I like to tell people, man, that entrepreneurship is not for the weak. Entrepreneurship is for people who are kind of borderline crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have crazy faith. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Like, you have to just think about it, right? We grow up in a society to where we are trained to go to school, learn some type of expertise, and go into the workforce and work, right? Just think about that, right? Think about what it takes for a person to say, you know what? Yeah, that's cool, but I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna bet on me. Right? And actually do it. And stick with it, right? Because doing it is one thing, but sticking to the path, man, staying on the road is a whole nother monster, bro. Like, bro, I've had times to where I'm like, you know what? I quit. I'm about to go fill out an application. I'm about to go get me a job. I'm about to guarantee these funds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, man, like, through it all, bro, it's been a testament of faith, man. And it's been God, like, stretching me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I answered your question with it.
No, you're good. No, talking about like stretching, like, being an entrepreneur, being a creative, and being a person of faith, how do you deal with, these like crazy or tropical clients, or you're in a bad mood, you got to deal with people, and you understand that you're still not just representing yourself and everything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Let me put a disclaimer out there, right? I had no mentor, right? No mentor. So we learned everything on the fly in real time. So I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a whole lot of good, but I've made a whole lot of mistakes, and I just had to rebound, right? I'm gonna say this, right? One thing that has really streamlined the type of clients, bro, that you're referring to, I'm gonna look into the camera and say this, right? Guys, listen to me. Read my lips. Raise your prices. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it for everybody back in the back. Raise your prices. When you raise your prices, that weeds out about 90% of that, right? Now, periodically, you'll have the client that wants what they want, when they want it, how they want it, which, okay, cool, but everything needs to be done decent and in order. Sometimes it's not. So like sometimes you just have to have that hard conversation with them and remind yourself, first of all, like God is watching. Secondly, you are your brand. So if you go off the deep end, hey, you might get blasted on Facebook or whatever it is like that, which, hey, I mean, like you can come back from it, but at the same time, that's not really what you want out there, right? But it goes back to, man, really treating people how you would want to be treated. And sometimes you have to say, you know what? I think I'm going to exercise my right not to work with you. Because sometimes you have to choose. Sometimes you have to say, you know what? I'm going to choose myself, and I'm going to not deal with this person or this situation or whatever it is so that I can stay the best version of myself. Because hey, nobody's perfect. We all can become undone at some point, right? Man, but we don't want to do that.
Right.
Do
you gotta like what? No, let me ask you this. What do you say has been like your biggest failure as like a photographer or videographer, creative, or like something like maybe like client that you just messed up, like you just royally, like you couldn't even save it. Let me give you your refund. Like
I'm gonna tell you. I believe we had a conversation about this one time before. Man, I think it was like around 2000, maybe 17, 2018. I got a phone call from a client, right? It was the brother of a client. This client always comes to us. Great people, great family, right? So the brother, he was coming in town. So he wanted to get everybody together, right? Man, so we pick a dope spot, go out there, shoot some beautiful photos. I'm showing them the pictures after. Oh man, you did a wonderful job. Everything's great, right? Get back to the house, and normally, I'm gonna say 85% of the time, maybe even 90. Whenever I make it back to the house, I dump the SD card. I take everything off. So I don't run the risk of deleting something by mistake, right? For some reason, I don't know what transpired. I don't know what took my mind away from it, but I didn't do it that evening, right? So maybe a day or two passed and I still didn't do it. But for some reason, I thought I had. So I had a busy weekend coming up, man. So I went down, got the camera, uploaded the SD card, and just went down the line and just deleted everything. So I'm thinking everything was all good, man, because I had the folder and everything, man. It was all pretty on the SD card, the whole nine. Nothing was in the folder. So when I went to edit the photos, I said, well, bro, I hit that Scooby-Doo, huh? Hold up, man, what's going on? So I go to the camera, and by that time, it was full of the shots that I took that weekend. So I didn't have it. By that time, man, I tried everything, bro. I tried to, recover the photos. Wasn't happening. So finally, I had to get on the phone, and bro, that was like one of the hardest phone calls I ever had to make. Sir, you guys did a wonderful job. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the opportunity, blah, 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 blah. But I have some bad news. I don't have the images. It was some technical difficulties. I don't have them. Man, when I tell you, bro, they were so upset. But it was more so they were hurt, And that taught me right there, take care of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, dump your cards as soon as you finish, right? Have a backup. You know, even if you need to leave something on the card, have a backup in the cloud, have an extra external hard drive or whatever it is. Just make sure you have it to where you never have that problem again. And bro, I thank the good Lord, man, I never had that problem since, you know.
Man, I done had a few close calls. You know, I've been able to restore images, you know, long as I don't shoot back over it again. And just even like just learn from you. Like I had a situation where, because you know, for a lot of times you would tell me how you shoot in a JPEG,
Yeah.
because you're such a stickler of which is the right way of getting the shot right in camera.
Yeah.
If you get the shot right in camera, ain't much you got to do on post anyway.
Yeah.
And so you save space and everything else.
Let me jump in real fast. Guys, again, shoot in RAW and JPEG. Shoot in RAW and JPEG. I can't say it enough. Yes, I edit in JPEG, but you don't know how long, I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to say it for everybody back in the back, you don't know how many hours I put in editing photos to get to the point to where I feel comfortable with editing JPEGs. But look, please guys, shoot in RAW and JPEG. If it's a storage issue, buy a bigger external hard drive or buy a bigger SD card. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nah. You know, talk your stuff,
Yeah,
man, because like I said, people don't see the work that you do behind the scenes. People are like, man, your camera take good photos.
Yeah.
No, you take great photos, not your camera take great photos.
I say it all the time.
You know, your editing and this is that, the amount of work and time and stuff. And just like, you know, I know when I came to the game, you had experience. You know, I'm trying to get somewhere. And then there's always somebody just knows, you know, iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
And so I remember, you know, that was one thing you might have even never really thought about that I always took to heart, like getting it right in camera, making sure my lighting, especially if I'm using anything external, a flash or stuff like that. And so what happened and came to bite me in the butt was I was being lazy about something, and I changed I always shoot in RAW. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot in RAW, and then I'm gonna delete the photos that I don't edit later, or you know, for some client stuff. So you know, I changed my settings to JPEG because I was doing something and I wanted to be able to pull it out immediately, put it in my phone, edit real quick and send it out. I forgot to change it back. And so I had this huge event in downtown New Orleans.
And you had to adjust your exposure and everything.
I had to adjust my exposure. I'm shooting with, you know, I didn't, because we were moving in between two different ballrooms, I was going to use your technique where you would just set up, you know, the flashes in the corner and I could just move around. So I had my up top flash, I had my little dome. And so, but I'm like, me knowing me, and as much as I shoot, one thing that I tell a lot of photographers and even videographers, you know, do stress tests on your equipment.
Yeah.
Meaning create an environment that's like worst case scenario and shoot. And you'll know what you can recover and what you can't, like and how far you can push your camera for photo and video. And so for me, knowing that sometimes I'm like, okay, I can shoot it like this, and I know what I already in my head, I know what I need to do in post to fix this. So I'm like, them settings might be a little bit out, but for you know, it had to be the Holy Spirit. Cause I was like, I was shooting, I was like, nah, let me make sure I lock in. Cause all right, we in a room full of black people in all black.
And it's dark.
Worst case scenario. So I'm shooting. And then they pull, you know how the clients like we didn't talk about this, even though we had a meeting to talk about all the shot lists. There's this like this auditorium, and we gonna bring everybody from the event to take one group photo.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it was like maybe about 80 people. And like I said, they're in all black, so there's nothing bouncing off everything. And I already had I'm glad I brought my big light on top of my camera. I didn't have none of my external lights. So I was like, me knowing, I was like, okay, I'll be able to push, you know, push this, and in post, I'll be able to fix it. Man, I get back, I'm getting ready to start editing. And like I have my process of when I'm doing it raw. And I'm like, why are these in JPEG? No, I must have shot in RAW and JPEG. They're all in JPEG.
Man.
And I just had to start praying right then and there, because I was like, if I did not get this right, there's only so much I can do.
Push,
I can't say, if it was a RAW photo, we good.
Push to the limit.
And so, but me learning that and taking that from you, that allowed me to shoot that in confidence, me knowing like, okay, well, I did say I'm gonna shoot this. It was only a couple of photos, just like that group photo, where I knew I was gonna need the flexibility to push that. But it turned out well. Now, there was a situation that I was shooting an interview, and 30 seconds into the interview, my camera dies. And so the problem was this. I live in South Baton Rouge. We're in Baker.
Oh yeah.
One of the other clients.
Enough said.
One of the other clients is from New Orleans. They drove all the way to New Orleans. So I get there, I'm setting everything up. I'm in like full studio mode that we're in. Like, I got multiple lights, I got the stands, I got 2 camera angles, I got the backlight, I got everything. I'm like showing off. I'm like, great. So I cut the camera on, and the battery is red. So I'm like, I thought I'd charge this. But I'm like, I'm me. So I normally keep multiple batteries, and then like I'll stash like a battery or 2 or like an SD card in my car always, just in case. Well, I looked through everything. Everything's dead.
Oh man.
Everything's dead. So I was like, okay, well, it's on red. So we might be able to get through this. I'm going to just pray real quick, because we can't reschedule. We literally cannot reschedule. Or nowhere, like for that month, we can't reschedule. It had to be like next month. So I said, well, we're going to set everything else up. And you know, what I'm going to do is in between questions, because it was interview style. So one of the clients is interviewing the other client. So I was like, in between questions, I'm going to just cut the camera off. And, you know, I'll say, hey, well, let's do it. And then when I feel like that person got it good for this next one, I'll cut it off. 30 seconds into that first, she still into the first answer.
Went blank.
It just went blank.
Oh, man.
And I did not have the heart to say anything. So I just let them run the interview. I just let them run. We sat there for about 45 minutes, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had my Osmo, and I was like, I had set it up just for BTS, just to see, you know, and I was like, I brought that back. I was like, but nah, this ain't gonna match all the other quality that we did. And then I just had to let them know. I just let them know there was a technical difficulty. Look, I was the technical difficulty.
How was that received?
It was actually received well, but I think it was received well because this is a client that I've been working for like 2 years. And so I have that rapport.
Your history.
And good history, and we've done so much other stuff, and I've bailed them out of situations. Like I've had to, you be in one of them situations before they were working with me basically exclusively. They was working with different photographers and videographers and stuff, and they'll like mess up something or be bad footage, and then now, Roland, can you fix this? Can you match? Oh man, Roland, this doesn't match with what you're doing. But that's just a testament of like building like rapport.
Exactly. And it's very important.
You know, doing it right. And so when I say, hey man, we've been working for 2 years, we haven't had any issues. Hey, just sometimes stuff fails, even if it's us. And so, you know,
grace too.
No, that is yes, that is grace. And I want to talk to people real quick out here in Baton Rouge. Like all you clients that be booking photographers and videographers, it's a very close-knit circle. We know who the bad ones are. So before you even come in my email, best believe somebody done told me about you.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about that. I'm going to look in the camera on this one right here, right? So one day, Roland had a client. Never mind, y'all. Anyway,
no, say
go
it.
ahead.
No, this is the Real and Bold show. Say it.
Okay.
Say it.
My boy Ro had a client, you know, so I said, okay, all right, yeah, cool. I saw, I'm trying to choose my words, bro. So I saw the client, we did some work in the past, and the work came out great. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about nice, like everything was cordial, everything was good. I think the session lasted maybe about an hour and a half. Everything was cool. I went away from it. Great. Delivered the images. Like everything was cool. I believe I did some work for her sister, maybe a niece or somebody too as well. Well, right. Roland shot the content for the client. And I said, oh yeah, Ro, man, I did some work for her back in the day. Ro was like, yeah, G, bro. She said, bro, that you did a horrible job. And bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My mouth hit the floor. I was like, huh? She said, man, you were nasty with her. I'm laughing about it now, but I couldn't believe it. Like, for real, like the the only thing I could the only thing I could think of was maybe she has me confused with somebody else because the experience I had, everything was cool, but hey, it, hey man, it's Baton Rouge, bro.
It's Baton Rouge. But if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have took her on because she became one of them clients. So even after everything, and I sent out the email and different stuff, and she was all in this assumption stuff. She had I wasn't talking to her directly. She had hired like this project manager, and so I'm working with that person to get everything scheduled. But she had everybody else, even with my images, everybody else, and oh man, these are great. We love this, and that. She's the only one that got something to say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, and I tell people this all the time. If you think you ugly, just say that. Because we can't fix how you feel. Our perfect picture will always, be outshadowed by insecurities.
Okay. Let me look back in the camera right now. Bro, you just bringing me to a certain place, man. I've been having a lot of pent up, statements that I want to, got to get it off my chest. Newsflash, all right? Newsflash. Understand and study the photographer that you are hiring. It goes back to what Ro just said, right? If somebody does something that you like, hire that person. Don't try to go to Roland if you like what Susie does. Go to Susie. Pay Susie's prices because Susie and Roland are not the same. Roland has a certain structure to his business that Susie might not have, and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Susie has a certain shooting style, customer service style that Roland might not have. But again, understand what you are getting yourself into before you push the book now button. Because I'm telling you, I'm going to say this for everybody back in the back, okay? Photographers do not charge enough. I've had conversations with people. I've done lives on it. Photographers do not charge enough. I do not charge enough. Roland, I don't know his prices, but I know he does not charge enough. People, and bro, I don't want to take over the segment with it, man, but like it needs to be said, man. When you book a photographer, a lot of people just look at the shoot, the time, how many outfits, how many edits, right? It's so much more that goes into what photographers have to do in order to prepare. I'm saying photographers, but I mean content creators, videographers, whoever, right? Think about it, bro, all right? The reason why I'm saying we don't charge enough money is because think about everything that you have to do in order to make a shoot happen, right? The time that you have to spend talking to the client, right? The admin work that goes into making sure that the booking is done properly, right? At that point, you have to start the planning process, right? If you need to go scout a location, you have to scout that location, right? That's gas, that's time, unless you do it virtually, but it's still time, right? At that point in time, you have to charge your cameras. You have to, bro, you have to dump your SD cards. You have to charge your equipment if you use off-camera flash. It's so many different things. And bro, don't be a photographer like me to where like I bring equipment out. So I got flashes and soft boxes and C-stands and the whole nine. And you talking about you want to shoot 3 locations. So that means what? I have to drive there, gas the car up, drive there, set up, shoot, break down, pack up, drive, set up, shoot, break down, drive, finish it, get home, dump the images, that's time. Cull at some point, that's time. Send the best images off to you, being a client, wait on you to choose what images you would like for me to edit because I used to pick, I stopped doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then start the editing process. Excuse me. Man, I'm getting kind of worked up when I'm talking fast. But yeah, man, I'm saying all that to say We don't charge enough, and it's a lot that goes into it. We're very passionate about it. So please, whenever you book, I'm looking at the camera again, understand who you are working with and understand what they can do, what the limitations are, and understand that the editing that you think you might want, you probably won't get, because 9 times out of 10, you probably don't want to pay for it. I'm sorry.
No. That brought me to my next thing. I want some rapid questions real quick. Just rapid round. Yeah, go ahead with you a swig of water real quick.
I got you.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions. One sentence. Or one answer.
Okay.
Favorite lens?
I can tell you my brand, Sigma.
Okay.
Yeah.
135, 50.
Right now, I'm digging the Sam Yang 135.
Okay.
1.8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Dream project or client?
Ooh. Man. Come back to me on that.
Okay. One misconception about the creative process or creative grind?
It takes time.
Takes time. Okay. I like that. What inspires you outside of work? One sentence.
Creativity. And God.
And who's someone in Baton Rouge we should look out for, creative-wise?
Oh, man. Bruh, I can't tell you just one, man, because I'll be leaving somebody out, you know? Man.
Let's make it hard on you.
Shot by KB.
You know what?
Rolo Vision.
KB been killing it.
Killing the game, man. Cold.
I had to hit him
Ice water.
the other day, and I was like, I gotta work with you, bro. Like, he is killing the game, man. I don't think he know like how much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, I gotta find a project. I gotta do a collab with him.
Man, Edge.
You know,
Cradle Works.
right?
Yusuf.
You know,
Bro, J-Rock. Hey, bro, I can go down the line. Jazz. I mean, bro, like it's so many people.
So what we need, we really do need to get like a photo walk or something started again, or something, just to build that community.
I used to do them too, bro. I need to start back doing them.
You know, we have so much community. You know, we in Journeywell. You know, by the way, you know, Journeywell is sponsoring this episode. You know, if you need a podcast, you need to create some content.
Yeah.
You know, we might need to, you know, do something here. We got the space to,
no doubt.
you know, set up some stations and everything else, get some models out, or just different stuff, or even like, you know, station here, product photography here, just kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And going from that. So, dude, you know, go ahead.
I got another photographer. Bro, so many. Cam with superior shots. Dope.
Got you. So is there anything you want to promote right now? Like anything?
Hi, guys. My name is Germaine Grimes. Author. Published author.
Whoa, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Published in magazines. All right. You can find me at www.exposures.net. You can catch me on South Sherwood, on the corner of South Sherwood and Corset Boulevard at Exposure Studio 2. And you know, we just making it do what it do, baby.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Look, I appreciate you coming out, bro.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me.
Yeah.
I appreciate for all the wisdom and the guidance and, you know, just the personal relationships and personal, you know, talks and the clients you sent me, the opportunities that you brought to me and put me on, man.
Most definitely.
I definitely just got to give you your flowers. We definitely gonna have you back on, because we gonna go deep into some face stuff next time.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to be up here because, you know, I feel that more people need to hear the heart behind Germaine, and just not see the logo, you know, of Exposures. So, anything else you want to leave the people? Yeah, man. I just want to say again, bro, I appreciate the opportunity. I was kind of nervous at first, like I told you, man, but then, hey, bro, I thought about it. I say, you know what, man, I'm going to chop it up with my homeboy, so why am I even tripping right now? But yeah, bro, at the end of the day, man, I just want to look into the camera and say, hey, guys, look, man, let God have his way. Like, stop fighting it. Don't try to hold back. Trust me, I've been on a roller coaster ride, man, and ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. I'm to the point now, I'm like, big homie, you got it. So look, take your hand off the wheel. Stop trying to control. Stop trying to control everything. Use faith, have faith, take faith, get crazy faith, and let him have his way, and watch.
He's going to take you to places you've never even envisioned.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that word of wisdom. So look, thank y'all for tuning in to the R&B show. Like I said all the time, if you're watching this, I appreciate your time, because time is something that we don't get back. But go ahead and interact, like, subscribe if you haven't, because we ain't cool if you ain't subscribed. Comment, share it with somebody, and always remember, keep on rolling. That's it, man.